welcome everyone to the evening meditation. So we're going to be meditating on lesson 280 from A Course in Miracles workbook tonight, and the preliminary section to the series of 10 review lessons, which we've just come to the end of. This is the last lesson. So it's the last time that I'll read you this passage on what is the Christ. So just to prepare, go somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed for the next half an hour. Sitting comfortably. If you're sitting on a chair, just have your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Support your back with something, a nice supportive chair, or put a cushion. Or you can use your favorite meditation postures. That might be sitting in half lotus, or sitting with your feet out in your bed. Just make sure you're comfortable. You cup your hands in your lap. Put your phone on mute or silent. Close your eyes. And just listen to my voice. Let me guide you through this for the next half an hour. So start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And notice how the stomach rises, pushes out. Then second phase of the breath, you breathe into the heart center, to the upper chest, into the head. Feel a nice life energy, nice warm tingling feeling rising up from the lower stomach and spine, like a warm thread up your spine into the crown of the head. You just pause there at the top of the inhale and just do a little scan of your mind. Just notice what's going on there, what thoughts and what emotions are blowing through the mind. So is there any kind of negativity, anything that's contracting your mind, fear thoughts, any kind of anger, upset, resentment? Just be honest and notice even the little scraps of irritation. Now you're just going to choose to let all this go with the help of the breath. So as you exhale, just blowing all of that out, just releasing that mental and emotional static. It really just disturbs your peace. There's no other purpose for these thoughts and emotions. Blow them out like a black smoke out of your mouth. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. So expel all the last remaining air out. So you're empty, not just of air, but psychologically. Just emptied your mind, you've emptied your vessel. Because only an empty vessel can actually receive anything. If your mind is cluttered with all your own thoughts and ideas, then you're not open to receive anything else. So just notice that nice, calm, empty, open, spacious awareness. Breathing in again, stomach rises, chest rises. There's the subtle flow of life energy rising up the spine, into the head, crown of your head. Pause. Just really pay attention to the stillness and the gaps between breaths and the gaps between my words, because this is what all these lessons, all the words are pointing to. The underlying stillness, the formless essence, presence of God, the ground of being, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. So notice that, connect deeply with it, and then you exhale. Just as you exhale, make a little sighing sound in the back of your throat. So keep your mouth closed. It's like you're fogging sunglasses, but with the mouth closed, and it makes a little sighing sound, a little vibration. Notice that. Notice the chest and the stomach suck back in. The energy subsides back down. It's like a wave just breaking back into the ocean. And then you breathe in again. Repeat the cycle. Stomach rises, chest rises. Notice the subtle flow of air into the nostrils. Feel this life energy, this warm tingling sensation flowing up from the lower stomach and spine, up your spine into your head. Pause at the top. Connect with this delicious stillness. Smile. Just let this expansive freedom, which is the subject of today's lesson, we'll get to, just make you smile. Open your mind, open your heart. And you feel that energy subsiding back down, going down the front channel of your body, into your lower stomach, coming to rest there in peace. So there's movement, dynamic flow with the breath, and then stillness. So just by doing a simple breath practice, you're teaching yourself to flow and be still, and then flow again and then be still. And it's a very valuable life skill to have. So just keep watching your breath, just step back, take the observer position and just watch what's happening. Notice how this amazing life-giving process called breath just happens to you, through you, and for you. There's no conscious effort, no stressing, straining, or striving involved. It's completely the opposite of the ego's program. Notice how peaceful and restful it is when you just watch. You don't have to do anything, you just observe how this process called breath that you take for granted happens. And maybe you get a little inkling that you are not your body, you're not your breath. Because there's an awareness that's able to observe all of this. If you couldn't observe it, then you would be it. It's self-evident that we are not anything that our bodies do. We're not our behavior. We're not our bodies. So what are we? And that leads us very nicely into preliminary section to this series of review lessons we're busy with, which we've just coming to the end of tonight. Which answers the question, what is the Christ? So let's listen to these words from the teacher, the man who's now transcended being a man, named Jesus, who is the author of A Course in Miracles. To hear what he has to say about what is the Christ. Just keep watching your breath, being very still, calm, empty, open, but aware. You just let these words and ideas drop in, sinking into a deeper part of your mind, into your subconscious, which is where these ideas are needed to undo the default thought system that we're all part of. We've all adopted it. This is why we're in this world. That's called the ego's thought system based on separation. So you let these ideas just sink into this deeper part of your mind, your subconscious, where they will start to undo some of these deep-seated beliefs that create up this belief system, this thought system, as the Course calls it. It's called the ego, based on separation. The idea that I am a separate self. The Christ is a concept that undoes this entirely. So, Just listen like this, let the words just sink in, keep watching your breath. I'll remind you to do that every now and then. So what is the Christ? Christ is God's Son as He created Him. He is the capital self we share, uniting us with one another and with God, or love if you prefer to use the word love to God. I'll always give that alternative because they mean the same thing. Uniting us with one another and with God or love as well. He is a thought which still abides within the mind that is His source. He has not left His holy home, nor lost the innocence in which He was created. He abides unchanged forever in the mind of God or love. Just pause, watch your breath. Just a short commentary on this. Christ is not male or female, beyond gender. So gender is just part of the dualistic nature of language. Actually, it's more of an it. It's a principle that transcends gender and duality. So it is not left its holy home, nor lost the innocence in which it was created. Self-identity, the self-concept, is completely unchanged, and that abides forever in the eternal mind of love. It's available, but if we're not aware of it, then it seems that it's lost to us. So Christ is the link that keeps you one with God or love, and guarantees that separation is no more than an illusion of despair. For hope forever will abide in it. Your mind is part of it, and it's of yours. It is the part in which God's answer lies, where all decisions are already made, and dreams are over. It remains untouched by anything the body's eyes perceive. Though in it, its Father, its source, placed the means for your salvation, yet does it remain the capital self who, like its Father, its source, knows no sin. So this higher self-concept is thought of the source. It remains one with the source. And when you identify with this, then you become one with the source in your own mind, the Father, as Jesus calls it. So use whatever language and terminology works for you. And try not to get hung up on it, because the words are just pointers, signposts to send your mind in the right direction. They are not the absolute truth, which is beyond what words can express. So keep watching your breath. Nice, deep, slow, rhythmical breaths, keeping your mind nice and still and calm and empty and open and aware. Let these words just seep in, permeate into that awareness. Go into the very depths of your subconscious mind. So home of the Holy Spirit, and that home in God alone. Does Christ remain at peace within the heaven of your holy mind? This is the only part of you that has reality in truth. The rest is dreams. Yet will these dreams be given unto Christ, to fade before His glory, and reveal your holy capital self, the Christ, to you at last. The Holy Spirit reaches from the Christ in you to all your dreams, and bids them come to Him, to be translated into truth. He will exchange them for the final dream, which God appointed as the end of dreams. But when forgiveness rests upon the world, and peace has come to every son of God, every extension of the loving presence called God, what could there be to keep things separate? For what remains to see except Christ's face? And how long will this holy face be seen, when it is but the symbol that the time for learning now is over, and the goal of the atonement has been reached at last? So therefore let us seek to find Christ's face and look on nothing else. As we behold His glory, its glory, when we know we have no need of learning or perception or of time or anything except the Holy Self, Christ whom God created as His Son, as His extension. Just rest in this stillness for a few moments. Don't have to try and intellectually understand these words. The main thing is that you just absorb the essence of what they're trying to transmit as a presence that goes with them. Speaks of transcendent love, peace, joy that is not of this world. If you get a little taste of that essence, then the words and the meditation are doing their work. So let's move on to practicing lesson 280, workbook lesson for today. Take a nice deep breath in to start with. Through the nose, you fill up the lower stomach, blowing that up like a balloon. Imagine you breathing, not just air, but light. Beautiful, brilliant, golden or white light flowing into your stomach, into your heart center with the second phase of the breath. Feel a nice, warm, tingling energy there. And that energy rises up into the upper chest and then into the head. Might feel a little tingling sensation up the back of your spine. And just pause at the top of the inhale for a few moments. Notice any thoughts that are limiting. And these can show up in many ways. It could be a fearful thought, you're worried about something happening or not happening in the future. It could be an attack thought, some anger, frustration, irritation, annoyance. It could be resentment, bitterness, guilt. These are all limits that you lay upon yourself as God's Son or love's extension. That's what God's Son is, the extension of the loving mind, the creative mind. That is God. And now exhale, and just as you exhale, blowing all these limits away. Imagine they're like clouds just blowing away with the wind of your breath to reveal the eternal sky beyond them. Notice the stillness that comes between breaths. Breathe in again, stomach rises, chest rises. a subtle flow of air into the nostrils, the life energy rising up. Pause for a few seconds in the stillness. Maybe you feel a sense of peace, happiness, joy rising up. Smile. Express it in a smile. And then exhale, just sigh it all out. Like a sighing sound in the back of your throat. It's called the Ujjayi sound in yoga. Air flows out of your nostrils, chest, stomach sucked back in. And you come to rest again in the gap between breaths, in the stillness. Again, listening to these words, just set the breath in motion. Step back, just watch the breath. The breath keep you nice and calm and empty and open and aware. And you let these ideas just drop in to that spacious awareness. Imagine your mind is like a still calm lake on a windless day. Ideas are just going to drop in and ripple. The ripple effects of the ideas are like pebbles in the lake. And they're going to go all the way into the depths of your subconscious to have an effect far greater than if your mind was choppy, full of lots of thoughts. So just keep watching your breath as you listen. This very still, calm, receptive way to the short commentary on today's lesson. So what limits can I lay upon God's Son? It's the central idea. Jesus says, whom God created, limitless, is free. I can invent imprisonment for him, but only in illusions, not in truth. No thought of God has left its Father's mind. No thought of God is limited at all. No thought of God or love is forever pure. So ask yourself, can I lay limits on the Son of God, which is me, and whose Father willed that I be limitless and like himself or itself in freedom and in love? Can you really lay limits on what is infinite, unlimited, eternal? The answer is surely obvious. Any attempt to do that is delusional. So you may think that you've been successful in doing that. But this unlimited love and freedom still exist. You haven't really damaged them, denied them, done anything to them at all. They still exist no matter what you think you've done. And in this idea, in this truth, lies your salvation. So just to get an experience of this truth, this state of limitless freedom that love brings, do a minute's silence to close the meditation. Invite this presence to come in with this prayer, and then just sink in to the peace and the stillness, the limitless awareness of truth. So say to yourself, today let me give honor to your Son, your extension. You're addressing your own higher self, your own source. For thus alone I find the way to you. Father, source, I lay no limits on the sun, extension you love, and you created limitless. The honor that I give to him is yours, and what is yours belongs to me as well. And with that invitation, just sink in to a deeper place in your mind where I just get a little glimpse of this limitless freedom the lesson is pointing to. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about for the next minute of silence. Just breathe, relax, be still. Allow this limitless presence to reveal itself to you for the next minute of silence. And so just gently coming back into an awareness of the breath. On the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just noticing stomach rise, the chest rise. Just the subtle flow of air into the nostrils, life energy rising up. Connect with the stillness, the top of the inhale. Notice that it's always there. And you're back, easing yourself back into the domain of sense perception. That stillness is still there. And you exhale. A little sighing sound in the back of your throat. Air flows out of your nostrils, chest and stomach suck back in. Pause again. Drink in the delicious stillness and these little gaps. So that's 1. 2, you're going to just notice all of your body senses. So what are you touching? Your hands. Just the weight of your body pressing down on the chair, feet touching the ground. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Take another sip of air in. Just paying attention to what's showing up in the present moment, because that's the way that you stay connected to this limitless freedom while you still operating the domain of sense perceptions. Notice what you're hearing. Is there any sounds going on? Just observe them, notice them. without judgment. So it might be whirring of your computer fan, ticking of a clock. I can hear music in the background. Just allow it all to be. Notice how peaceful it is. When you perceive this way without judgment, that's what it means. When all the spiritual teachers, including Jesus in the Course many times, says, do not judge. You access this deeper state, this field of peace and love and joy beyond the mind's judgments of the sense perceptions that you experience, that it experiences in this illusory domain of sense perception. So 3, open your eyes, just look around for 30 seconds, just noticing whatever's around you, looking at various objects, pretty randomly, just whatever your eyes happen to rest on. Look close, look up and down around you, behind you, near and far. Apply the same principles, so just make no attempt to judge anything, you just observe everything without any mental commentary. And again, notice how peaceful it is when you do that. So anchor that state of peace in. To help you to stay there, use today's idea frequently this evening. I recommend every hour. Just pause, listen to the shorter recording I sent you earlier if you're on the WhatsApp group. Just to reconnect, a little breath break to help you to let go of anything that's come in. If there are any difficult thoughts and emotions, use it in immediate response to that. And just to keep you in flow. So thank you for listening to this meditation. Hope you enjoyed it, and that gave you a little taste of the freedom that comes when you connect with your source. So looking ahead to tomorrow, we've got 2 meditations, one at 12:30 UK time, and another one at, so that's 1:30 SA time, another one in the evening, 5 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. SA time. So join me then in the Zoom room. If you're on out there on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when I go live. So I broadcast the evening sessions on YouTube. Thank you for listening, and wish you a very peaceful, flowing evening ahead. Namaste.